All right, Doug Schwab, big win over Old Dominion. You bounced back from Virginia Tech last week.
Yeah.
29-9 final score. What are your thoughts going into a duel like this?
The big thing is how you respond. That's because sometimes you get beat or things happen and you don't perform maybe the level that you want to, and do you move forward from it or do you kind of have a hangover from it? And I thought our guys responded. There were some things that we talked about, being able to do closing out periods, fighting a little bit more to stay on top, and you watch the matches, some of those matches, that was the difference. Hodges in particular there was one situation where I think the guy thought he was going to get away pretty easy, and he fought a little bit more to stay on top, then he had him flat, and then he was able to end up breaking him down. He turned him and kind of blew that match wide open. So those are the things that probably made me the most happy, that there were some things that we talked about and we keyed on to be aware of as a team and to do, and they did it. So that's a great thing.
Is it nice to have a Dylan Peters pin out there?
I mean, they're always great. Yeah. I mean, we can never get too many of those. I mean, he would have had it a lot sooner, but they stopped the first one. So I think it was just a matter of time. He knows when he's ready to put a guy away. And he can put anybody away. And the great thing is he hit some other attacks. So it wasn't like he just hit a whip over. He hit a low single, then he hit a nice high crotch. And that's where he ended up high crotch, ended up coming to the half from that. So that was good to see, because he's got great offense. It just being able, I think for him getting out there and doing it in that type of setting is probably the most important thing for him right now. Just talking with him, we can do it in the room all day, but we got to be able to do it out in competition environment, and he was able to do it today, so it was good.
Talk about Drew Foster. Is that something you expect out of a guy like that? Coming in and obviously ranked guy, you talk about numbers not meaning much, but ranked guy, he's got a number next to his name, fourth in the country a couple of years ago. He's got credentials.
Yeah, I think we've seen. He's incredibly athletic. We've seen where he can score, and he can score. He scored against some really good guys the first one, even last year. So now he's a full size 84-pounder. I thought he really controlled the match. And he was another match where he widened the gap on him was riding him. He got the second takedown, but after he got the second takedown, he fought hard to stay on top. And that kind of snuffed the life out of the other guy. You kind of see this air getting let out of the balloon, and that's for me a great thing, and it builds his confidence, but also our team. It doesn't really matter. Sometimes you do kind of need a marquee win, and for him that should have been one. He's a guy that doesn't really lack confidence a lot. You talk to him and how he kind of holds himself, but that just takes it to a whole nother level. But he had some incredible attacks, and Deco doesn't give up a whole lot of points. He's already beat a guy like Miklas this year. So to say that guy, he's kind of rounding in the season. He's already beat a multiple-time All-American this year. So I think to me the gap was what was most important to me, that he went and scored multiple times. He had riding time, and he could even had a chance to close another one out. I get greedy. But I liked how he competed. He composed himself real well, because sometimes he kind of has that, that dump, and then you kind of see where there's a huge drop off, and I didn't see that this match. So that's great. He's been working on it, and he was able to do it out in competition in a big time environment.
Now, a couple years ago, you and I wrestling was known for Joey Laser, Joe Colon just being absolute hammers on top. Yep. Is it starting to get back to that turn? Is that what you're kind of aiming at for your guys? And now you weren't a guy that was really riding and turning many guys, but how are you implementing that in your program where you see guys riding and turning guys?
Some have just spent time there. Like anything. You spend time in a certain position, you're going to get better there. And keying out of it, making so guys fight to stay on top. I don't know any other way to put it. When the guy's he's only got a pinky on him, and if he's just going to let him go, or even last week I thought, we decided before we even got on top of the guy that we were going to let him go easy. We can't decide that. If anything, I want to see where they put a guy down once or twice and then they cut him. So I saw a couple guys do that where they were like, I kind of want to cut him right now, but I'm gonna display a little dominance here. I'm gonna put him back down on that, because in those short time situations you have to be able to do that. And if we never practice it, and then all of a sudden we just expect that, well, when we're out in the competition, there's 25 seconds left, we have to ride a guy out, that we're just going to be able to do it. So we've been doing short time stuff in here, and really putting an emphasis on that from both ways. Guys getting off the bottom, but also a guy being on top and just being just a pest there. Anything else for us? No, man, just love having Flow Wrestling in the West Gym. Hopefully a lot of people tuned in and enjoyed how our guys competed, man. I thought they competed well and fought through everything, hustled, and those are things that we want to see have happen, and that's what we want to trademark you and I wrestling. And so hopefully anybody that tuned in enjoyed it and look forward to tune in next weekend. I know the UNI Open's going to be up. Going to be some really good teams here. Missouri and Illinois are, I think, bringing their full lineups with us. Makes for a pretty good tournament. And I know there'll be some other guys too. So that's kind of where your mind turns as a coach. But always love being on Flow Wrestling, and I guess we'll see you next week.